Good morning, my name is Al Wallace. I'm your academic advisor, and this is a short tutorial on what the academic plan for the Associate in Science degree program, how it works, and what things you need to know about it. And it's for, again, people who want to transfer to a four-year college. Alright, so the first part of the plan at the top, your name goes in the top block over on the left, then your student ID, and then this, again, these are all classes that will fit for either accounting or business management. So the first group of classes is written communications. You'll be required to take English 101, English 102, and then oral communications. If you'll click somewhere in the bottom right hand corner, either just inside or just outside this yellow block, then a list of classes will appear with a down arrow key that you can scroll through and click on one, and when you click on it, it appears in the yellow block as one of the classes you can take. So that's the same thing with all these yellow blocks. Now, next area would be arts and humanities, and you need to complete at least one course in heritage, which is history, and one course which in humanities, which the humanities class that Western requires, WKU, is PHL 120, and that's just something if you're going to go to Western. Otherwise, you can pull the down arrow keys on these two blocks and fill in the classes that you'd like to take. Next area would be social and behavioral science. At least two disciplines must be represented in this area, and different from both of those in arts and humanities. Well, one of the disciplines will be economics that you're going to be required for most all schools. So I would suggest that you take Economics 201. That's usually the class that most schools want you to take, and then pick something else out from this other pull-down menu. Natural science, you got to have at least one course with a lab, a 1-hour lab. Again, use the pull-down menus to pick out two classes in this area. And then we go on to quantitative reasoning. You can be assured that the most likely classes you're going to be taking or required to take will be some type of statistics class, which I recommend STA 220, and college algebra, which is MAT 150. And let's go to the next part of the plan. Here's an example of what I'm talking about these pull-down menus. If you right-click somewhere, again in the bottom, either inside or just outside this yellow block, a pull-down menu will appear. You click on it, and then you'll see a list of classes you can scroll through. And if you click on one of them, then it all will appear inside the block. And again, this is our math, and the most commonly transferred math class is MAT 150. Okay, on the next page of the plan, we have an area here that has 4 classes you have to take. 2 of these classes have to be from the quantitative reasoning, which would be either math or some type of statistics, and or natural science class. So that's the 2 areas they can come from, these 2 classes. And again, you can use the pull down menus to figure out which of these classes you do want to take. And then the other 2 classes you want to take will be things that you want to find out from your transfer school what the pre-major requirements are, and make sure that the other 2 classes are something that meets that. And I believe that since I suggested Economics 201 at the top of the plan, then Economics 202 would be another class to consider putting in here. Now the last part of the plan, which are electives, the most common electives for business and or accounting majors would be these 5 classes. 201 accounting, financial accounting, 202 accounting, principles of marketing, principles of management, and business law. There's other classes that will work also, but these are the most common ones. Also, let me say that there's another tab down here at the bottom you can click on to see all the general education courses that are going to meet the requirement for this degree. You can click on that tab and you can get some good information off that, along with your cultural studies class you're going to be required to take. So let's go to the next page of this. This is a suggested program of study, and this is just a suggestion. The idea for this would be the basic overall idea is that in the first 2 semesters you want to try to get as many general education requirement classes out of the way first, so that if you change majors, you haven't wasted any time. And so here's some suggested classes, again, that fit this requirement, that fill in the plan, and that would work in the first 2 semesters. So writing 1, oral communication class, humanities class, heritage class, college algebra, and that would be the first semester. The next semester would be writing 2, social and or behavioral science class, natural science class with a lab, cultural studies class, which I'll talk about that in just a second, and or a digital literacy class, or like CIT 105. Then any pre-major requirement at the transfer school you want to try to take that also here. So that's your first year, both semesters. Let's look at the second year, both semesters. Here you want to try to fill in classes that are for your major specific classes, and you want to wait till last so that the knowledge about those major specific classes is fresh to you. And so here in third semester, financial accounting, principles of economics, microeconomics, a quantitative reasoning and or science class here, quantitative reasoning and or natural science class here, pre-major requirement at the transfer school. Again, you have to find out what the transfer school wants. And in the fourth semester, you're going to go pretty heavy into your only major specific classes like ACC 202, Econ 202, Stat 220, the BAS 282 marketing class, and BAS 283 management class. Again, these are just sample suggested classes. And when you get through all these classes and get your plan complete, you want to make sure you've taken at least one digital literacy class, either taken the class or passed a short little exam that we offer. It's a paid exam. And you make sure you've got a cultural studies course completed. And let's see, go to the next page. And on the signature side of the plan, you'll want to, again, make sure you got a digital literacy class completed, which you can click on a box over here and see what qualifies. The most common one would be CIT 105. Also, a cultural studies class. And the way you figure this out is if you click on this general education courses list, any class that is in italics and bolded, on this tab on this next page, which I'm not going to show you, but you can look there through the classes. Those are classes that are considered cultural studies classes. So once we've done all those things, got all those requirements completed, then the next thing to do is to come in to see me, make sure everything's, I'll double check everything, get your signature and date, my signature and date, and then you can take it over. Also, we got some of these other things to figure out too. In order to keep your student loan, if you have one of those, then you have to maintain either a GPA of 2.0 or greater. Also, you have to have a cumulative completion rate. That is, you have to pass at least 2/3 of your classes of the total classes you've taken. And also, you must attempt no more than 150% of the credit hours required for the degree. So this degree requires 60 hours, so you have to do it within a total of 90 hours. Now, also some more basics about this plan. Basic academic plan rules, no 2-for-1s. That is, a course can't be used in 2 areas of the plan. It can only be used in 1 area of the plan or 1 time. And if you take the same course twice, you can only use it 1 time on the plan. Also, you can transfer courses in from other colleges if they're approved by our registrar from an official transcript, and they will tell you what transferred in and how it transferred, what course it equates to. And if you change majors, tell your advisor, which would be me, as soon as possible, and make sure the change is made in PeopleSoft. And the way you make sure that change is made in PeopleSoft is to check with the Start Center, and they'll tell you specifically what you need to do to make that change happen. And then when you get to all of that, the last step in the process is with your completed signed plan by me and yourself, go to the campus center, which is on the main campus, and go look for the registrar's office, and then you'll fill out the rest of the paperwork for the plan, and everything is pretty much complete at that point. So I hope this has been a helpful video to you.